Hey guys, happy July 2024. I'm making a video today on just giving you a big broad overview on what I've settled on the best way for keeping my Argentine boas. And it's a little different than true red tails. I'm putting a little more attention onto my Argentines this year because I'm going to be trying to do a couple of breeding trials. But one of the things I've done is I've moved these animals. These are my Argentine colonies. There's 4 6-footers and here's a 4-foot cage. Out of my main room because I can't get that room quite as cold as I'd like it to be breeding. I like to be down into the like true mid 60s, not like 68, like 65, maybe even 62 some of the time. And I can't do that in my other room. So I moved them out here. But to that point, I just wanted to talk about generally how to set up an Argentine boa cage the way I think is best. I'll just tell you that this is kind of modeled after some things that I've learned from very experienced people, in particular Bob Guerrier of Ancient Reproduction. So overall, here's what I would tell you. Argentine boas thrive in big, well-ventilated cages using a 12-12 incandescent hotspot or a halogen hotspot, and then providing humid hides, and at night, just a very small, discrete hotspot, about the size of the surface area of the animal, that's set to about 85 degrees. So here's an example of that. I just put Weaver in this cage earlier last week, and here it's very simple. This is dead simple. On the side of the on this side of the cage, I have a little, I think it's an 11-inch square heat mat, maybe a 12 by 12, but it's just about the surface area of that snake. And that's on 24 hours a day, so she can go and find that no matter what. I have some damp coconut in here with a hide box, so she can burrow down there and find heat any time of day. But then I'm driving this with a 25-watt halogen. And notice how much ventilation is in this cage. I don't have that halogen on a thermostat. I have just had this tuned using ventilation and wattage choices so that I know that that temperature is going to fall somewhere between 85 and 95 on that spot, depending on my ambient room temperature. So that is a huge understanding and a difference that I would tell you from true red-tailed boas is big open ventilated cages, relatively dry cages, always with a humid hide box, couple of little microenvironments, a small localized hotspot for 24 hours a day into the mid 80s, but then a 12-12 halogen or incandescent. Big clean water bowl, paper substrate, they thrive like this. And it's a little different. I'm just gonna close this up, sorry. It's a little different than true red tails, which I keep in PVC cages. I still order my PVC cages with extra ventilation, but they're much tighter, and I do heat panels, so it's a less localized hotspot, and it's a much more broad, even heat, moisture, less day to night variation. But so here's just another example, guys. This is a 6 by 3 foot cage. This has a big, beautiful Argentine boa in it. She's primed for breeding this year. Same deal. We have I think that's a 72 watt. I think it's 72 watt incandescent. They're a little weird wattages now. And then I have a 1 by 2 heat mat over here set at 85 because she, that's about her surface area, 1 foot by 2 foot square. So she can always go and get that. I don't even know if you weren't breeding, if you need that hot spot, although I like to provide that as a hedge against problematic digestions and things. But the reason I do put that in there is so that if she is successful breeding this year, she will have an area to cook her babies 24 hours a day. But again, no thermostat, heavy ventilation. Much more ventilated than PVC cages. If you think those PVC cages come with like 6 or 9 slits, and these come with these have 4 opens. Here's a vision cage. Here's another example. Look at this. Same idea. Humid hide box. This has a 50 watt halogen in it. It's got a heat mat over here. Big, beautiful Argentine boa in it. Same deal over here. It's cleaning day. That's just how I do it. This is how I would tell you to set up your Argentine boas. Big, open, ventilated cages, humid hide box, relatively dry overall cage, incandescent or halogen heat lamp, so it's tuned either on a dimmer or with your wattage choices so that you hit 85 to 95 during the day, 12 hours a day, and then you have a small heat spot that covers the surface area of the animals on 24 hours a day. That's just a big overview on how I would care for my Argentines, because I've been getting a couple of questions about that, and it is a little different than with my true red-tailed boas. Here's another one down here. This one's cooking a huge rabbit. Yeah, there you go. I'm gonna